All right, let's dive right in with a single, super common word, a word you've probably said or heard 1,000 times without even thinking about it. But have you ever actually tried to define it?
So, go on. Take a second. How would you do it? How would you actually explain the word hair to someone who's just starting to learn English? It's surprisingly tricky, isn't it? You might start talking about protein filaments or follicles, and all of a sudden, what seems simple gets really complicated really fast.
Okay, now check this out. This is the definition from the Simple English Wiktionary. Long, very thin, soft material that grows on people and animals. That's it. It's perfect, right? It's totally clear, it's precise, and it uses really basic words to get the idea across. There's a real elegance, a real power in that kind of simplicity.
And, this simple approach also makes one of the trickiest parts of English grammar way easier to understand. Sometimes hair is something you can count, like when you find a few hairs on your jacket, but other times it's uncountable. You don't have hairs on your head, you just have hair. This kind of thing trips up so many people learning the language, but this example just makes the difference totally obvious. And look at this sentence. It's a perfect example of that uncountable idea in action. You don't need to read a dense chapter in a grammar book. You just need a really good example. Honestly, this one simple sentence does more work than a whole paragraph of complicated explanation. So what we have is a crystal clear definition, a simple grammar point, and a perfect example. But here's the thing. This isn't an accident. It's not just a coincidence that this entry is so perfectly clear. There's a whole system working behind the scenes here, kind of hidden in plain sight.
And this is the key. This one little line from the source page tells you everything. Hair is on the Basic English 850 list. That's not just some random piece of trivia, it's the entire philosophy, the whole reason this entry is so beautifully simple.
Just let that number sink in for a second. 850. That's it. The people who created this system believed you could say almost anything you needed to say and build an entire functional version of English with just 850 core words.
So what exactly is this system? Well, it's called Basic English, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a version of the language built from a core vocabulary of just 850 essential words. The whole goal was to create a tool for clear, simple, direct communication that pretty much anyone, anywhere in the world could learn and use. And to really get a sense of how radical this is, just look at this comparison. On one side, you have the full English language. We're talking well over 170,000 words in current use. And on the other side, Basic English, with its 850. It's not about dumbing the language down, it's about finding its absolute most powerful, most functional core. And this isn't just some random grab bag of words either. The system is actually incredibly logical. Words are all grouped together into useful categories. So for example, you learn hair along with other parts of the head, like eyes, nose, and mouth. It gives you a framework for understanding the world, not just for memorizing words out of a dictionary.
So what happens when you commit to this kind of radical simplicity? Well, you get global reach. That one Wiktionary page for hair that we started with, it's been translated into 83 different languages. That is incredible. It just shows you there's this massive, worldwide demand for clear, simple, accessible information. And that really gets to the heart of it. Basic English isn't about limiting what you can say. It's the exact opposite. It's about empowering more people to say important things. The whole goal is to make powerful, complex, and vital ideas understandable to absolutely anyone, no matter what language they grew up speaking. And that kind of brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. We started with just one simple word, hair, and we ended up uncovering this incredible system designed purely for clarity. So it makes you wonder, right? In a world that feels so full of complexity and jargon, what if more ideas in science, in politics, and our own daily lives were explained this simply? What could we achieve? What could we build if we could all just understand each other?